God brings circumstances in our lives just to prove or to see what we'll do. So whenever we're having a supply that is small against a need that is big, and I believe nikianza kazi Agnes, I remember ilikuwaga, I think mshahara ya kwanza inaga maneno mingi, unaonaga unakuwa na abundance mingi. I think you can bear me witness, ndio you walk in abundance. Mahitaji inakuwa young, na unashaka hizo pesa zingine zinafaa zifanyiwe kazi gani, because inakuwa mingi. And that also is true when you have an increment. Anybody mwenye amefanya kazi, unajua kuna wakati unaongezewa mshahara, na ukiongezewa hiyo mwezi wa kwanza ni kama pesa inakosa kazi, lakini ukiendelea hapo mwezi wa pili ni kama sasa inaingia vizuri. Sasa ni kama budget na income ni the same. Mwezi wa tatu inakuwa ni kama sasa umerudi kwa ile hali ya kwanza ya kukuwa na shortages. Okay, am I communicating the truth? So Jesus Christ is also facing a similar circumstance together with the disciples, that they are having a lot of people and a few bread. They are having a lot of demand, but the supply is chini. So, but the Bible tells us something so profound, that Jesus already knew what ought to do. So the first key principle for us to take us to the place of multiplication is knowledge of what we ought to do. Knowledge, a lot of Christians just know what they are supposed to have. For instance, I know that there are 5,000, maybe let us call them 20,000, all of them. And what we know is that we need some money to buy bread. But there is a higher knowledge of knowing what you ought to do more than just what you need. Because you can ask Christians, what do you need? I need rent. What do you need? I need school fees. So they know what they need, but they do not know what they ought to do. But the Bible here clearly tells us that Jesus Christ knew more than what Philip knew, because Philip also had an information is that we have shortage. A lot of Christians have the information, there is shortage. But it requires a higher level of knowledge that is called the knowledge that you ought to know, not just what you ought to say, as much as saying is powerful. Say, let the rich say I am, let the weak say I am strong. Let the blind say I can see. No ingine kwangi scripture. Let the poor say I am rich. That's a scripture. That's a song. So, more than just knowing what you ought to say, you also ought to know what you ought to do. So Jesus Christ knew what he will do in that circumstance. So knowledge is powerful. Isaiah chapter 5 verse number 13 nasema, my people are in captivity because of knowledge. So inamaanisha sababu ambayo wako kwa captivity ni kwa sababu hawana maarifa. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed. Why? Because of lack of knowledge. So knowledge is very powerful in this kingdom. I know I've said it before, but one of the most powerful truths that Mungu alinifundisha is knowledge. Not just knowledge of what you want, knowledge of what you need, but knowledge of what you're supposed to do. So knowledge is powerful. The Bible says in the book of Isaiah chapter number 60 verse number 1, nasema, arise, shine. And the reason as to why you're going to arise and shine is because your light is come. So light is the ingredient or the component that will enable you as a believer to be able to arise and shine. So knowledge is very powerful, light is very powerful, understanding is very powerful. Verse number 7. Philip answered him, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. So Yesu amuuliza Philip, utafanya nini? Yesu anajua nini atafanya. But now Philip is trying to measure the number of people against the money that they have. And akiangalia hiyo kirende, akiangalia pesa, anaona bwana mahitaji ni mingi kuliko pesa. You remember yourself when ile unalojilipeana ya month 1 and 2 month 3. So it's the same thing. So your God is not surprised. The good thing I love with the Bible is a practical book. So Mungu hashtuki zenye unapata short. You know, at times as believers we want to spiritualize a lot of things. And we want to act as if it is okay. Hii maneno ingine tupambane nayo. Acha si tupambane na okay, at times we call but God is interested in what you do. Because kama unajua they say that there are two main things that brings chaos in families, stop marriage. Number one, it is hiyo maneno ya watu wakubwa. Number two, it is finances. Wanaweza wasifiwe. So senye labda mko na short hapo pia na bwana kunaweza kuwa na shida kidogo. And I'm saying, okay, I know a lot of us they have experienced the same. It's only that now I'm the one speaking, but I can say that from experience. That maneno ya pesa inaweza leta bugdha katika nyumba na katika jamii na katika familia. Sababu katika in this kingdom, if you want to take your children to good schools, you will need money. Okay, leave alone good schools. School, you need money. Eating, you need money. So money determines where you live. Money determines which school you take your children. Money determines which school you wear, which clothes you wear. Money determines a lot of things. So as far as this ipande kabla tukienda kwa mbinguni, pesa neno. So from experience, mom, kulikuwa na shortage sana home. Sasa shida ilikuwa sasa I was the chief financial officer, CFO. So when you're the chief financial officer, you ought to explain what is happening, because we made money, we have worked the whole month, but we are not seeing results. So what a director, kindly explain. And then the sad part is that now Agnes, the director, he himself does not know. All I know is that the only thing I can tell is that I was paid. From there, inaitwa maskini mapepo ya Nyahururu haipendi mtu akikaa na pesa. So that is a simple Christian explanation. So mapepo in nini. But I will go and end uko mbele so that you understand the law of multiplication. But all of these things are actually so biblical. But we want to spiritualize a lot of things. And again, forgive me at times if I seem as if I'm overemphasizing on this topic. But why should I teach something? Okay, because if I teach something else, it means I'll collect notes and I will just be a lecturer. But when I teach what is practical to me, then it will make more sense, because I'll not be focusing so much on notes, because my life will be like a little episode. So pesa ni kidogo, watu ni wengi, hii pesa hizi ndio mkate wote. So the first thing that is wrong here with Philip is the perspective, because he's comparing ile kidogo ambayo ako nayo na angalii Kenya na focus nayo sana ni kidogo. So at times, number one we said knowledge, number two is perspective. So our perspective will determine whether we are going to multiply or not. Ukiangalia wale wana wa Israeli, kulikuwa na vikundi viwili katika kikundi kimoja, ya wale wa 10 na wale wawili. Wa 10 walisema tulienda kule Yeriko na tulikuwa ni kama nzige. Nakwambia Kiswahili nacho kidogo. Tulikuwa kama nzige katika wale giants. So kulikuwa na wenyewe walikuwa na perspective yao ni nzige, na kuna wenyewe walikuwa na perspective wanasema wale watu ni kama mkate, tunahitaji tu blue band na tutawakula. So ni the situation is the same, but the perspective is different. Same with the David and the soldiers analogy against Goliath. While the soldiers were looking at this great giant that will kill them, will destroy them, David alikuwa anaangalia huyu mtu ni mkubwa sana, roho yangu haiwezi miss. So it's the same scenario but different perspective. So I've realized one thing, Madam Agnes, that God will give you little to confront the mighty. That's why you look at Zerubbabel, Zechariah. He's saying, what are you, great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, you shall become a plain. So our perspective, the way we see things, is more important than the thing. So it's not about the giant, it's how you see the giant. Because similar situation but different perspective. While other people are complaining that kutakuwa na famine, 7 years of abundance, 7 years of lack. There is somebody in prison, for him that is a leverage. I wish you will be here. I think this